Hello. Give me a second to get. Here we go. Come on. There we go. I wish there was a way. I should ask some other people who use StreamYard if they have figured out a way to get Instagram to connect a little quicker than that. Because we always start very slow with this whole getting Instagram connected. And we have Julie G0741 over here. Oh, we have a couple people over here on Instagram. And then Monica is over on YouTube saying, good morning from Southern California. Good morning. I am just having a slow day. I'm not feeling great today. So, hello, Sarah. Physically, I'm not feeling great today. Mentally, I'm all good. So, we're cool. All right. Let's see. Yep, we have a few people. So it looks like we have people from all three of the places that we stream to, which is always a good sign. That means everything is working technically. Yay! All right. Yeah, I'm just having, like I said, I'm having a kind of a slow blah kind of day. I think something I ate the other day didn't agree with me, and I'm just not feeling awesome at all, unfortunately. So it might be a little like just like half an hour today, not the whole hour. We'll see. Oh, thank you very much, Sarah. I'm sure I will. I think it's, like I said, I think it's something just didn't agree with me, and I just gotta wait it out. Hello, Monique. Um, our live Zoom is this evening, I believe, from 6 to 8. Let me just double check that real quick, because I do not want to lie to you, or I wouldn't be lying. I would just be giving you the wrong information by mistake. I guess there's a difference, right? I wouldn't be purposefully giving you the wrong information. Let's see. Come on. Why does it take so much longer when I'm actually live to check these things, and when, like, I'm just checking it and you guys aren't here with me? All right, yes. It is from 6 to 8 Eastern this evening. So that will be there. This one is like an hour earlier than our old evening ones, because, like I said, we changed everything up starting this month, where each like the first Wednesday of every month is at one time, and the second Wednesday of every month is a different time, and so on and so forth. And this is, I believe, the third Wednesday, and the third Wednesday of every month, as long as we have a sit and stitch, is from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern. So that will be tonight for our live Zoom. And they 4 hours beforehand, you will get a reminder. So if you did not get the information and you are on the newsletter, you have joined the newsletter, you will get the link 4 hours beforehand. And if you are not part of the newsletter, you have until 2 Eastern, which is about 2 hours from now, to go ahead and join the newsletter, which is really simple. You just go to crochetfoundry.com and you scroll down, and there's a little sign up for the newsletter right there. So you can do that. And then in 2 hours, there will be the reminder that the live is 4 hours away. So yeah. So I was trying to think of, hey, I just noticed Joanna said, Jada Hands Com. I'm not sure where the spaces in that are. So said that they had no sound, and now they say, yay, I have sound. So that's good, because that would have been difficult to not have sound, right? Since I'm just sitting here talking to you all. I mean, I'm cute, but there's just a line where you can just watch me and not hear what I'm saying for so long. Sorry. Anyway, so I was trying to think of what to chat with you guys about today, because this was a day that I didn't have something actually like scheduled to specifically what I wanted to talk about. And I thought that this would be a good day to talk about, like, when you're stuck, what do you do? Well, or if you're trying to learn, a lot of people say they don't know how to read patterns. Um, and then I also have people who want to write patterns and they say they don't know how to write patterns. So, oh, and Jada is in Maine and agrees that I'm cute. Thank you so much. I was actually born in Maine, in Ellsworth, well, at the Ellsworth Hospital. We lived in Sorrento, Maine, and I was born in Ellsworth Hospital. So my father was in the Navy at the time and was stationed at a Navy base somewhere up there. I only lived there until I was 1. I've since been back to visit, so I know that I really like Maine. But I obviously don't remember when I lived there because I was only lived there until I was 1. Anyway, so I often have people say that they don't know how to read patterns or they have trouble reading patterns, or sometimes I have people saying they want to write patterns. And they need help, like how do they learn how to write patterns and everything. And really, I almost always have the same answer. If you just want some really good sources that are like in print that you can keep going to, and my answer is always Edie Ekman. Okay. So Edie has a whole bunch of books. This is a great one to start with. As a maker, as a designer, as anything, the Crochet Answer book by Edie Ekman is just an amazing, amazing book to have. And yes, Edie is a friend of mine, but this is not me being like, buy this stuff for my friend. I said this before I met Edie, and I was definitely like, it took me a while to be able to talk to Edie because I was a little bit like, I don't know if you would say starstruck or if it was just more like I wasn't sure that I was worthy. you know I mean, and then I meet her and she's just a wonderful, wonderful human. I adore Edie very much, and she is so smart and just a fountain of knowledge. And she writes these amazing books. So this Crochet Answer book, it's got all about your different kinds of hooks in here. Just everything is in here. Uh, Proper placement, how to do things both right-handed and left-handed. Okay. There's lots of really clear illustrations, and everything is right-handed and left-handed because Edie is freaking amazing like that and thinks about those sorts of things. And just let's see, what if I need to increase a large number of stitches at the beginning of a row? So this is showing you over here, we're learning about that, right? And then let's see, why should I take measurements before and after blocking my swatch? Why do I block a swatch? How do I rip out my swatch now that I've gotten the right gauge? How should I measure thick and thin yarn? See, this is all under gauge. So just tons of different, we have anatomy of patterns. So that's going to tell you a lot about, pattern languages and symbols. This is just a book I think every crocheter should own. And I really probably should have made a little list of affiliate links. So when you all go out and buy this book, I could get some commission on it. But I didn't think that far ahead. I was just like, oh, I can tell them about really great books. So I grabbed a few Edie Ekman books and didn't even think about giving you guys some affiliate links. But you know what? I'll go over into the if you're on Crochet Foundry Makes, in the Facebook group, I will go and edit the description and put in the books and affiliate links to where you can buy them all on Amazon. And I guess I could probably do that over on the YouTube description as well. I can do that. Yeah, because you can edit YouTube descriptions afterwards. You can't edit the videos, but you can edit the descriptions. So I can add in those. I'll add in the affiliate links, so you will have all the links to them. Of course, you're welcome to find the links yourself and buy them, and you don't have to use the affiliates. If you do, I get a commission, but you pay the same price. But anyway, this one right here. If you're only going to buy one book that's going to help you as a crocheter, both as a maker and as a designer, this is my recommendation for the book. Okay. And I am pretty sure that I have actually, yeah, I have, because none of my Edie Ekman books are signed. I have actually bought every single Edie Ekman book that I have. She doesn't publish with the publisher that I happen to do book reviews with, so I don't get them for free to review them. I have bought every single one of the Edie Ekman books I have because I see the value of them. Okay. And then I always forget to bring them with me when I'm going to go see her so that she can sign them. So they're never signed. I might have one that was signed that I might have bought at a Rhinebeck, but I'm not even sure. I think every time I go to Rhinebeck, I already have the books that she has. All right, let's see. Then I have a couple more of hers that I just grabbed real quickly that I like. I was just checking the spines, and there were like a bunch all in a row that were just other ones. Obviously, I went straight for this one, which is really easy to find because it's small, which I also love because it fits really nicely in your, project bags and stuff too. But then I just grabbed a few other books of hers just to show you some of the other ones that I use a lot as a designer for inspiration. This is Crochet Borders Every Which Way. And so they're patterns for the borders. These are great. Again, yes, I use them as a designer a lot of times, but these are awesome as a maker if you want to modify your patterns. Okay. Say you finished a blanket, anything that you can put a border on. It doesn't have to have a corner. She gives you the corners, right? Here we have Sarah says her great things about the book. It's on your Amazon wish list. It's one of those things I would buy myself, man. I would put it on your wish list if there's something coming up and give it like the highest rating. But I would just, sometimes something's just worth buying. If you can afford it. Obviously, I know that not everybody can afford to just buy books, or whatever. I need the book. Actually collect old knitting and crochet books and magazines. I do the same thing. Like I have a lot of these sorts of things, right? Which I absolutely love. These old, the old ones. And I have, that one was Reader's Digest. I have some Better Homes and Gardens. I have a bunch of those too. I collect them as well. And my husband, whenever he goes to garage sale or anything, if he sees any of the old magazines, he'll buy them for me. I have some really cool, like doily ones and everything. What else? Yes, it is. It's perfect for your body bags. It's perfect for your project bag. I haven't even been watching like crime dramas to be on a body bags. I don't know where that came from. Oh my goodness. Yes, embellishments are awesome. And Monique has the same Reader Digest book. Also have a recipe book. I do the same with the recipe books. You have the answer book and use it all the time, of course, because it's awesome. A lot of crafts books from the 70s. Yeah, there were a lot of them. Definitely. Oh my gosh. Yes. Embellishing your body bags, a new bestseller. Project bag. All right. Anyway, if you want to modify something you're making, like I use this as a designer when I'm kind of like stuck and I want some ideas for some borders. And sometimes it'll be like, ooh, I like this little beginning of this border. I like this ending of this border. And I'll use it, in that sort of a way. Or it'll just give me an idea and I'll be like, oh, right. Yeah, I remember I can do something kind of like this. But as a maker, maybe you have a skirt or something that you made that you want to put a border on. Maybe you have, I think I told you in the November edition of Crochet Foundry, I'm going to be showing how to add crochet onto fabric. So maybe you have I have this like little quick and easy little black dress that I'm wearing that's like a t-shirt, but you could do a little blanket stitch around the edge here, which you'll learn about in the November issue of Crochet Foundry if you don't already know. And then you can crochet something onto it for an edging, and you can use any of these borders for that. So the cool thing is when she goes through these borders, because she is Edie and therefore is awesome. Let's see. Is this, here we go. She gives you the hold on, she gives you the how to do the corners. Yeah. So you can see, and they're all, she has a little bit of like about the features of them. So this one says it's a reversible, it's wide, and it's fringy. Okay. And there's charts. All right. There's the pattern, there's the chart, and then a little bit about each pattern. So this one is wide, undulating, layered, and textured. And yes, it is. It is all of those things. And I love that she mentions when it's reversible, because that's great for something that, when you're talking about trim on a sleeve or a skirt or whatever, it doesn't necessarily need to be reversible. But I like my blankets to look nice on both sides. Now, I don't, if the back of the blanket still kind of looks like the back, that's fine, as long as it still looks nice, but some things you really totally want to be reversible, like a shawl. Shawls are great if you can have them reversible. Here's another fun one: medium for the width, undulating, and textured. And this is just the fun little those little tulips. Okay. And you can see that she gives you how to do all of the turns, which is great, how to do the turns, but you don't have to do the turns. You can just use the straight section if that's all that you need. Okay. So I love this book as a designer and as a maker. Again, really, really awesome for when you want to modify something, when you want to just give it a little something extra, or even if you have something that already has a border on it and you're not fond of the border. Okay. This is a great way to kind of make it your own. This is a great way to add your own personal style into a piece. Is look through these, find the borders that really speak to you, and add your own personal style. I have, of course, now I don't have them on hand. They normally are on hand. I probably was using them. But those little, like the little Post-it note tabs that they're right here. See, they're like within arm's reach. These little dudes, right? I love these little dudes. A lot of my books are just full of these little dudes, especially when I'm designing. You can tell what book I'm using when I'm designing, and I need some help. And so I'm like, oh, I need some ideas. I'll just flip through some of the books and I'll stick a bunch of Post-it notes in these little tabs in them. And then when I'm done, I'll go back and I'll look at the tabs, and, I'll be like, oh, okay, I like this because I really like the idea of adding this part, of adding, I wanted to use, this is about short rows, and I wanted to use short rows here. And this is about, fun borders, and I wanted to use a fun border here or whatever. I love these little dudes because they don't ruin your books. They come off really nicely, and I reuse them. I don't know. I don't think I've ever had one loose. It's sticky. I've just lost it or tossed it or whatever. But yeah, they're awesome. Here's another one from Edie. Beyond the Square, crochet motifs. So here are bunches of crochet motifs that are not squares. These are great when you're doing little gifts. Okay. Obviously, Crochet Foundry, we tend to have larger projects, right? Our patterns in our magazines. Let's see. We're going to find these books that you have here. Oh, wait. I can find all these books that you have here on the Crochet Foundry website. No, you can't, unfortunately, because I'm not set up to sell books. Actually, one of the publishers was asking me that, and we were trying to figure it out, and there's not currently a way that I get myself set up to sell books, even if they're through the publisher. That isn't going to be a lot a financial startup for me, and just enough additional work that I don't currently have the time or the staff to handle. Um, but there are thoughts eventually in the future. We'll see. However, Monique, I am going to, after this live, I'm going to pop in and edit the description in the YouTube video and in the Crochet Foundry Makes group, and I will add the affiliate links to Amazon for all of these books. Okay. But you can, these are all what I'm showing. These are all Edie Ekman books right now. So you can always look at that. Yes, they're all on Amazon. They are all of Edie's books are on Amazon. So with crochet motifs, because within Crochet Foundry, we tend to do larger projects, right? Because we have just 5 to 9 patterns per issue of the magazine. And we want to make sure that you're really getting your value, right? If those patterns are like, here is a washcloth, you know, like sometimes if we have more than like 5 or 6 patterns, then sometimes one of the patterns will be, you know, a coaster, something smaller. But we want to make sure that you're definitely getting the value, you know, the bigger patterns, the more intricate patterns. There are some smaller patterns that you can purchase through our Indie Designer program. So when you're on Crochet Foundry, that you'll see where you can buy crochet patterns and knitting patterns, and you can go to those. And whoever the designer is, they're actually the one getting the majority of the money. We do charge for selling on our site, and because there's a fee for the app that makes that work, and of course, all of my fees. And I do need to make a little bit of money, but I barely. Mostly it covers the fees, unfortunately. But the thing with, so this is a great book to have, and this is great for, as who was saying embellishments? Sarah was saying she loves embellishments. These are great for like embellishments if you want to make a little decorative something, but they're also great for small gifts. You can use them to make coasters. You can use them to make ornaments. You can use them to make toys. Like if you make 1, 2, 3, 4, if you make 4 triangles, right? If you make 4 triangles and sew them all together into a little pyramid, you can stuff them, and it's just like a little kid toy. You might need to line it with some fabric depending on how open it is, but you can make like a fun little kid toy with that. You can join them together and make, you know, scarves. You can make all sorts of things. Cute banners, exactly. See, these are good for like banners, bunting. Some people call them bunting, some people call them banners. And of course, if you're making something with motifs and you don't like the motif that it has, you can change out the motifs, right? So, again, since it's an Edie, and I love that a lot of Edie's books are spiral bound with this like nice back here. This is nice because it doesn't catch on stuff, and you still have a spine. So when it's in your bookshelf, you can tell what it is. But then it's spiral, so it opens all the way, and it doesn't really, because it does have the binding here. It doesn't fold completely in half. I do have some books that don't have this part on them. I have some, I think Margaret Hubert, who is another author that I really, really love. She has some books that are spiral bound without this part. And while that means that you don't really have it's not so clear what it is on the outside when it's in your bookshelf, it means you can open it all the way around, fold it to the back. You probably could with this if you didn't mind mangling it a little bit, but you know, I'm not going to right now. But it does open flat in your pages. You can see the pages. You don't have to worry about it closing on you while you're working, which I hate. Like, I really think all books that you're not going to necessarily be holding while you're reading, so tutorial kind of books, should be spiral bound so that you can lay them flat and just open to the page you need and not have to hold it to make it stay open, right? See, this should be a law. But as usual, it's an incredibly well-written book because it is Edie. Okay, everything she writes well. And look, oh my goodness, what is this? I've missed this page before. Oh, it's just giving you some different ideas of what you can use them all for. All right. This section is circles. So we have different sections. We have hexagons. I probably missed whatever the first one was. And the hexagons looks like it includes like kind of starish shaped ones. Yeah. Here. There are squares. Okay. It says beyond the square, so it's squares and more. Obviously, there were some triangles in there. We maybe missed that section. So yeah, lots of really awesome designs here that you can sub out, and designs that you already in patterns that you already have. You can just use them as is. I bet you a lot of these would be fun to make in like crochet thread or whatever, or even just this way. And just as I said crochet thread, this one pops up. Are a lot of motifs done with crochet thread? They are. Sometimes they are. And what I was going to say is like if you did like this one with crochet thread and starched it, and it doesn't even have to be with crochet thread. It could be just like this. You could make a like snowflake kind of things, or as Sarah says, earrings. Small thread, small. I mean, you could do it with like sewing quilting thread or embroidery floss, and you don't even have to use like embroidery floss has 6 strands in it, and you can separate the strands, and you could do it with 1 strand or whatever, make them really small, stretch them and turn them into earrings. Yes, Monica, it makes it easier to copy, but I hope if you're copying it, you're only copying because you just want to carry your one individual pattern in your bag and not because you're sharing it with other people. And that's always a good thing to know. You can go to Office Max and get any book spiral bound. So that's a good thing to know. So yes, earrings are great. And if you really wanted this book to open all the way, sure, you could open it all the way and it would put a crease in here. You could also probably, I mean, I'm not going to encourage you to cut your books, but you could always just cut this part off and do that. But honestly, as long as it opens flat, I'm a happy camper. Like, it's nice when I can fold them completely and just be looking at half of the book. So even when I'm reading it, it's only this wide. But you know, you were hoping. Okay, Monique says she was hoping for bigger. She's afraid of thread. Well, that's fine, because I mean, all of the samples in here that Edie has made are just in regular yarn. Does she list the? She probably says something about it at the beginning. It looks like it's probably like maybe a DK or something. I don't know. But they work. These are not. The size of this is going to depend on the yarn and the hook that you use. So you can make them, as Sarah says here, you can make motifs in any size yarn. So just use the yarn and the yarn you want and the hook that goes with it, and make them however you want. And some of these would be adorable snowflakes. If you go into, it looks like I'm in hexagons right now, so there's probably some of these that you could use to make like a Star of David if you're looking for something for a Jewish holiday. But yeah, snowflakes are just winter. They're not, if you hang them on a tree, then they're Christmas. They hang them on a Christmas tree, then they're Christmas. But they don't have to be on a Christmas tree. So yeah, there's lots of really fun little motifs in here that you can use for various uses. You can, as a designer, you can get some ideas of, I like the idea of doing, this sort of outline on my piece, or, I didn't think of this kind of color combination, or I don't know, whatever. But these are great for so many reasons. 144 motifs. That would be a gross. Not as in, ew, yuck, this is gross, but as in a dozen times. It's 144. I used to know how many was in a great gross, which is a gross 100 times, not 100 times, a gross a dozen times, I think. Is a great gross a dozen times? Yeah. Because I would buy supplies in that way. When I ran a costume shop, you could buy like a gross of safety pins or straight pins, or you could buy a great gross of safety pins or straight pins. I would always buy my safety pins a great gross at a time, because my students would always come in and use my safety pins and I would never see them again. Yeah, see, there we go. And that's what I do too a lot of times, Monica. I make, if I'm, especially like if I'm working with something out of a book, I love having, like, I print out my patterns if they're on the line. I love having them on paper, and I love even more if it's paper that I can write on. So yeah, see, Monica, I would do the same thing, where that way, especially like things that are in different sizes, like in this, it's all in one size. If it's in a different sizes, I like to be able to highlight which sizes I'm making, with just the size I'm making, and maybe cross out the other sizes, all of that sort of stuff. I love that. And that's one of the reasons why with Crochet Foundry now, you'll see that at the end of that, you'll get, when you buy Crochet Foundry, when you get the magazine, you get 2 PDFs. One PDF is the magazine, and the second PDF is the pattern with just the text. And if there's charts, but none of the pictures, nothing else. And that way, what you can do is you can, and at the very, it's like the first page, it gives you the page that each pattern is on. And then there's the different patterns. You can just print out the pattern that you want. And then you can go in and you can mark it up. You can find your correct size and cross off the other ones, highlight the one that you want, and do it that way. I know there's a lot of us out there who like to be able to do that. So that's, yes. And the nice thing with the spiral bound books is it makes it easier to copy them if you want to be able to write all over them, or if you don't want to put the whole book in your project bag, and you just want to bring whatever you're making. Let's see. Snowflake ones with a sport weight yarn with sparkly starch and use them for a tree now for ornaments. I have the same thing. I had a silver sparkly that I think was like a sport weight yarn that I did that with for holiday gifts one year. When I do, like, I used to do holiday cards, and sometimes I would put like a little something flat as a gift inside, and they would be holiday cards because I happen to have a lot of people within like my holiday card list who are of various religions, and or no religion, or they're not all people who celebrate Christmas. A lot of people even who aren't a form of Christianity celebrate Christmas anyway, but I do have a decent number of Jewish friends. And so I always like to find, if I do a holiday card, and I like to find something that I can put in there if I'm doing a little gift that is a little kind of generic, as far as it's more of a wintry thing. I haven't done that in like forever though. Really like that crochet was, oh, the skirt thingy. Yes. Yes, the dress skirt thingy. Probably you'll see a little bit more about that in the November issue of Crochet Foundry, because that's what just made me go, oh, I should really teach people how to do this, how to do fabric and crochet at the same time. Highlight your size on wearables. Exactly. Print your patterns and you write notes. Doing stuff for Rosh Hashanah for your friends that celebrate. Nice. And it's nice that there are holidays, Jewish holidays, other than Passover. Passover isn't even like it's not even one of the high holidays. Rosh Hashanah is. I'm almost positive. Please, I could be wrong. I'm not actually Jewish, so I could easily be wrong, but I feel like Rosh Hashanah was one of the high holidays and Passover is not. Passover is, however, the holiday where you get like 8 gifts. So it's nice to have gift ideas. Oh, and of course, that's the other nice thing about these little gift ideas when you're talking about a holiday that has 8 gifts. Oh, I didn't know that. Monique is both. There we go. I think maybe I did know that. It's entirely possible. Sarah thinks I'm right, and Monique says I am right. Awesome. All right. And then the last one that I grabbed out, and certainly not the last of Edie's books, because Edie's got a lot more than this. I even have more than this in my bookshelf, but I don't have all of her books. These just happen to be the ones that the first one that I shared was the one I really wanted to share, and I just grabbed a few more. Connecting the shapes, crochet motifs, crochet techniques for joining motifs of all shapes. Okay, it's like, how do I join? Okay, well, okay, see, look, I did get one. Yay! It says, happy to Jessie, happy crocheting, Edie Ekman. I must have bought this one at Rhinebeck one year. Because it's actually autographed. Yay! I always laugh when I have like a bunch of books by somebody who's like a friend of mine and none of them are autographed. I'm like, I don't need your autograph. I can just call you and talk to you. But it's fun when I get like, yay, I got one autographed. I feel so special. Edie loves me. So yeah, if you're like, how do I join stuff? Well, Edie wrote an entire freaking book about how to join stuff, all right? Because Edie is a wealth of knowledge. This is like Edie Ekman appreciation. I should probably have her come on as a guest someday, and then you can all embarrass me by telling her how much I go on about her. I should talk to her about coming on as a live one time, and just like, she has a bunch of things that you guys would be interested in that she can share with you. So I love these sorts of joins where you have like a really pretty little, I'm trying to get the not glare. There we go. See, it doesn't, even though the circles obviously don't meet, you can do something fun like that. This is kooky and fun, all like parts of it sticking up. Oh, and look, these are both, I'm pretty sure, is this I don't know. Like, this is almost like you joined 4 motifs, but maybe that's just one motif. I don't know. We'll see. So this does give you some motifs to crochet as well. And then ways to join some of these fun motifs. I love when like you almost make an additional motif as you're joining the motifs. See? That's cool. That's actually what you're using to join them. Very neat. Let's see. Ooh, that's fun, right? I designed a square very similar, like the corners looked like these do, but not the middles. That's so funny. There's only so many things that can be come up with, that can, be thought of in the world. Years ago, it was one of the Moogly squares. Let's see. That's fun if you're looking for good square ideas, like nice big 12-inch squares. The Moogly Cal always has 12-inch squares. Here's another fun one that has joining motifs that aren't square without like filling in the space entirely. It just has like a little motif that kind of goes in there. This would be like, you can find a hexagon motif you like in the other book or in this book, and then use this to join it together to make a table runner, to make a shawl, a wrap, whatever you want. It would be really cool. Sarah says, I love that join. So do I. Here's another one. Look at that. It made that little kind of star thing. That is really nifty. And while some of these may look like they're specific to the motif, if you really look at it, you'll realize it doesn't have to be. This is pretty, and something I've been thinking about doing with a pattern I'm working on, where you're just doing like, it's like chains. There's like got like looped chains around the edge, and then you actually loop the chains together as you go. I don't know if that made sense to anybody other than my silly little mind, but okay. And here's a very, very nice and flat one if you're looking for just a really flat connection. I like my connections flat. All right. Here's a way to just join the motifs without adding any extra stuff to it. So yeah, I mean, this is just, I haven't looked through this one so much because I feel like it was probably just this very last Rhinebeck that I was at. It was like either this past year or the year before that I bought this. And I just bought it because I was like, Edie, you're here. And you have a book I don't have, so I'm going to buy it so you can autograph it. And then I haven't actually gotten around to looking at it yet. But I love it, and I should be looking at this one more than I have because it's got some really cool things. Zigzag join that you loop around each other. Yes. So yeah, lots of really fun yarns. Great way if you're running low on yarn. And yeah, sometimes you do, but let me tell you, like I said, Edie is the best pattern writer I know. She also does tech editing. And she is just a phenomenal pattern writer. The way she writes, it's easy to understand, and she always includes lots of the technical stuff. The ends of her books always have, here we have a stitch key for the shirts. That's the word I was looking for. Let's see, a lot of times the actual, like, we have a glossary in here. Okay, so it explains how to do the different stitches. A nice little photograph table of contents. That's the word I'm looking for. Motif directory. And then, at the beginning here, she's got showing you some different stitches, and depending on which book you have, like obviously the very first one I showed you really shows you how to make all the individual stitches. If you have this book, then basically anything is possible. So there we go. Let's see, just checking out. Oh, you know what? Again, Instagram didn't scroll, so I may have missed some things. Let me see. There's a lot of people joining. I just want to see if anybody asked any questions or anything. No. Okay. It was just, I just missed the people joining. I did not miss any questions. That's good. And we have a new Angelus here. Awesome. So yeah, there you go. When people ask me, hey, I want to learn how to read patterns. Hey, I want to learn how to write patterns. Hey, I want to become a better crocheter. Edie Ekman books. I love them. This is like I said, I think every crocheter, maker, designer, crocheter in any way should have this book. This is like the book to have. I love it. And then beyond that, her other books are absolutely amazing as well, but this is definitely the one I would say that everybody really wants to have this book. It's an awesome book. Okay. I think that's about it. Like I said, it was going to be a little shorter today, although it's not a lot shorter. It's 12:44. It's not 12:30. Yeah, because Monique says, I look like I'm feeling a lot better. I honestly, guys, like, when you guys have all been very, like, you've had a lot to say and everything along with this, and that kind of feeds into me, like, it helps my energy level when I see that people are involved and have comments and everything. So that's definitely helpful. Oh yes, if they ship to Canada. I'm sure you can get that one actually from Canada, Amazon.ca. So I'll check for you, Monique, because I have Amazon.ca. So yeah, I think we're gonna call that a day for today. I will see you guys at 6. Yeah, hopefully by then I will be feeling totally better, because it was really more yesterday that I was feeling really crappy, and I'm starting to feel better today. So hopefully by 6 tonight, when we have our 2 hours together for our sit and stitch, I won't be like, gotta run in the middle of the sit and stitch. All right. So yeah, that's at 6 o'clock Eastern, 6 to 8 Eastern tonight, which is 5 hours and 15 minutes from now. And you will get a reminder if you have joined the newsletter. You get a reminder 4 hours before the sit and stitch. All right. I discovered that when I send out those reminders 4 hours before the sit and stitch, we get more people who show up, probably because they remember, because I sent them a reminder, right? Like, we're all busy. We all have lives. Or, I mean, like, it doesn't matter if you're, if you work from home, if you are, if you stay at home and don't have a paying job from home. If you, housewives or whatever, I consider still is a way of working from home, because usually means if you're in a partnership and one of you is working and the other one is not working, that person who's not working is probably also like taking care of the entire house and all of that sort, so you're still working and you're still busy, especially if you have kids. That's a job by itself. Taking care of a house is a job by itself. And then there's a job. And oh my gosh, it's busy. I get it. So I like to remind you, because I certainly don't remember things without lots of reminders. I have so many, like, everything has to be written down or it just doesn't happen. I tell my kids all the time. They're like, Mom, I told you this. I said, but did you write it down? And they're like, no. I said, if you didn't write it down, you didn't tell me. It does not count. I love you to the moon and back, and I would do anything for you, but my brain will not remember what date and time your friend's birthday party is. So please write it on the calendar. So, yeah. Let's see. Sarah won't be able to make it likely tonight. I think it interferes with her new job that I'm so happy for her to have. We will have a great time, but we will still miss you. Monique agrees. It all must be written down. Yes. So anyway, I hope to see y'all in a little over 5 hours at the sit and stitch. And if you aren't on the newsletter, then make sure, yay, to yay. Yay. That would be awesome, Monica. We don't see you as often as we would like. That's great. Brain fry. Oh, right. If you're not on the newsletter, you can go to crochetfoundry.com and just scroll to the bottom and you can join the newsletter, and you'll be getting a reminder in about a little over an hour for the thing. So yes, I agree. Enjoy your day. Let's call it an afternoon, and hopefully I'll see a bunch of you later. Have a wonderful day.